Remember that if your response includes information from web search results, you need to cite your sources using tags. Commander Kim watched the night sky from Earth Defense. Station Alpha. Everything seemed normal until strange lights appeared. Suddenly, thousands of crystal-like ships surrounded Earth. Their blue glow lit up space in an eerie way. "Sir, something's happening," Lieutenant Park said, her voice shaking. She pointed at the radar screen, where countless red dots appeared from nowhere. Kim's heart sank. In his 20 years of service, he had never seen anything like this. "Alert all stations, this is not a drill." Before he could finish, the station shook violently. The aliens had fired their first shot. Outside the window, Kim saw Earth's satellites, exploding one after another, like silent fireworks against the black of space. "We've lost communication with Central Command," Park reported, pressing buttons frantically. "The aliens are using some kind of jamming technology. We can't reach anyone." Kim tried to stay calm. "Send messages using the old radio frequencies. They might not be blocking those." All around Earth, similar scenes played out. Defense stations went dark. Military bases lost contact with each other. Panic spread as people on Earth saw strange lights in the sky. In her small lab in Seoul, Dr. Lee was working late when her equipment started giving strange readings. At first, she thought it was broken. Then she saw the news about the attack on her phone before all signals died. "This can't be happening," she whispered. But the scientist in her was already analyzing data. The energy patterns from the alien ships were unlike anything humans had ever created. Dr. Lee noticed something odd. All the ships seemed to pulse with energy at the exact same time. It was as if they shared one heartbeat. They're connected. Somehow, she realized. While chaos erupted outside, she grabbed her notes and equipment. If Earth was going to survive, they needed to understand these aliens. The alien commander who led the fleet sent a message that played on every working device on Earth. The alien looked almost reptilian, with shiny scales and eyes that seemed too intelligent. "People of Earth," the alien said in perfect English, "I am Commander Vex of the Vaughn Collective. Your planet has resources we need. Surrender now, and some of you may live to serve us. Resist, and we will turn your world to ash." The Tao message played on repeat. In government bunkers around the world, leaders struggled to form a plan. Their best weapons had already failed against the alien shields. Dr. Lee managed to reach a military bunker with her research. She pushed past confused guards to find General Huang, who was talking with other officials. "I need to speak with you," she insisted. "I know something about these aliens." General Huang looked at the small woman doubtfully, but motioned her forward. Dr. Lee connected her tablet to the main screen. "Look at these energy readings. The alien ships aren't working separately. They're quantum-linked, sharing energy and information instantly across their entire fleet." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "That's why our attacks fail," Dr. Lee continued. "When we fire at one ship, all ships instantly know and adjust their shields. They act as one giant organism." Captain Song, a young pilot who had survived the first counterattack, stepped forward. "So how do we fight them? We've lost half our forces already." Dr. Lee's eyes lit up. "Where others see strength, I see weakness. If they're all connected, then one vulnerability could affect them all." The first days of the invasion were grim. The aliens destroyed military bases with surgical precision. Millions fled from coastal cities to inland shelters. But unlike in movies, the aliens weren't interested in landmarks or cities. They targeted power plants, communication centers, and defense installations. In the underground bunker, Dr. Lee worked day and night with a team of scientists. They studied the alien energy signatures from damaged equipment that had recorded the attacks. "We need to create a device," she told her team, "that can disrupt their quantum field. If we can break their connection, we might stand a chance." As Earth's remaining forces fought a losing battle above, hope began to grow in the bunker below. Humanity had been caught by surprise, but they weren't defeated yet. The aliens had technology, but humans had something just as powerful, the will to survive, and the creativity that came from facing impossible odds. Commander Kim, who had escaped the destroyed station, joined the resistance. Looking at Dr. Lee's plans, he allowed himself to feel the first glimmer of hope. They think they know us, he said quietly, but they have no idea what humans can do when pushed to the edge. 5 days after the initial attack, smoke still rose. From cities around the world, the Vaughn ships hovered over major capitals, dark shadows blocking the sun. Earth's military had tried to fight back 3 times. Each attempt ended in failure. Dr. Lee barely slept. Her underground lab, hidden in an old mine shaft, buzzed with activity as scientists worked on understanding the alien technology. Walls were covered with diagrams and equations. Broken pieces of alien tech, recovered from crash sites, sat on tables for study. "Look at this," she said, showing a strange crystal to Professor Han. The old man had been her teacher years ago. Now they worked side by side to save their planet. Professor Han took the crystal carefully. It glowed faintly blue even though it wasn't connected to any power source. Remarkable. It's still active. "That's what I can't understand," Dr. Lee said. "How does it maintain energy without a power source? I've tested it for 3 days. They placed the crystal under a special scanner Dr. Lee had built. The screen showed waves of energy moving through the crystal in patterns. Professor Han adjusted his glasses. "It reminds me of quantum entanglement experiments. When 2 particles are entangled, what happens to one instantly affects the other, no matter how far apart they are." Dr. Lee's eyes widened. "What if all their ships are quantum entangled? That would explain how they coordinate so perfectly." They worked through the night, testing the theory. By morning, they were sure. The Vaughn technology used massive-scale quantum entanglement. Their ships, weapons, and shields all operated as parts of one giant system. Meanwhile, Colonel Choi traveled between hidden resistance bases. He used old motorcycles and paper maps to avoid alien detection. The aliens could track digital signals, so the resistance went analog. At a base hidden inside a mountain, Colonel Choi met with Captain Song and Engineer Kang. They gathered around a table lit by oil lamps. "Dr. Lee has a theory about the enemy," Colonel Choi explained. "Their ships are all connected. What one knows, they all know." Captain Song frowned. "That's why our attacks never work. They always know where we're coming from." Engineer Kang, who had been silent, suddenly spoke up. "I worked on quantum computing before the invasion. If they're using quantum entanglement on such a large scale, it could be their greatest weakness, not just their strength." "How?" asked Colonel Choi. "Quantum systems are incredibly powerful, but also delicate," she explained. "The more complex the entanglement, the harder it is to maintain. One significant disruption could cascade through their entire system." The next day, they brought Engineer Kang to Dr. Lee's lab. The 2 women spoke the same scientific language and quickly developed a plan. "We need to build a quantum disruptor," Engineer Kang said, sketching a design. "Something that can create interference in their entanglement field." Dr. Lee nodded. "If we can disrupt one ship, especially their command ship, the effect might spread to their entire fleet." They worked around the clock, using salvaged parts and the alien crystal. Other scientists joined them, each bringing unique skills to the project. Outside, Earth grew darker. The Vaughn began extracting resources, setting up mining operations. They treated humans like insects, something to be brushed aside. A breakthrough came when Professor Han discovered how to read the alien crystal's energy patterns. "It's like a language," he told Dr. Lee. "The energy flows in code information. I think I can understand some of it now." This knowledge helped them fine-tune their disruptor. They learned the exact frequency to target for maximum effect. Colonel Choi established a network of old radio operators across the continents. Messages traveled slowly but safely, hidden from alien detection. The resistance grew stronger, more organized. 10 days after the invasion, Dr. Lee and Engineer Kang tested their device on the alien crystal. When activated, the crystal's glow flickered and died. "It works," Dr. Lee whispered, hardly believing. So that night, leaders from around the world gathered via the radio network. Dr. Lee explained their discovery and the plan they had developed. "The quantum disruptor can break their connection," she said, "but we need to get it close to their command ship for maximum effect." "How do we do that?" asked one of the leaders. "We can't even get near their ships without being destroyed, Captain." Song had been thinking about this problem. "We accept their invitation," he said. Everyone looked confused until he explained. The Vaughn commander had been broadcasting daily, demanding Earth send representatives to discuss surrender terms. "We send a team with the disruptor hidden on their shuttle," Captain Song continued. "Once aboard the command ship, we activate it." The plan was dangerous, perhaps suicidal, but after days of defeat, it offered hope. Dr. Lee volunteered immediately. "I need to go. I understand the device better than anyone." Engineer Kang. As they prepared for the mission, Earth's future rested on their shoulders. The Resistance would stage small attacks around the world to draw attention away from the main mission. Professor Han hugged Dr. Lee before she left. "Remember what I taught you," he said. "In science, what seems impossible is often just waiting for the right approach." The underground bunker hummed with nervous energy. Dr. Lee stood before the assembled military leaders and Resistance fighters, her quantum disruptor device sitting on the table before her. It looked simple, just a metal box with crystals and wires, but it represented Earth's best hope. "This device creates a signal that will disrupt the Vaughn's quantum network," she explained, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. "When activated, near their command ship, it should create a feedback loop that will spread to all connected vessels." General Huang frowned. "Should? We're risking everything on should?" Dr. Lee nodded. "Science isn't about certainties, General, but our tests with the recovered alien technology show a 78% chance of success." Captain Song stood up from his seat at the back of the room. "I've spent 2 weeks studying their patrol patterns and defense systems. There's a small window when we can approach their command ship, disguised as a surrender delegation." The room filled with angry voices. "Surrender? Never!" Colonel Choi raised his hand for silence. "Not a real surrender. A trick to get our team close enough to use the device." Engineer Kang stepped forward with a tablet showing diagrams of the alien flagship. "I've analyzed their hull structure. There's a maintenance access point here." She pointed to a spot on the image. "Once inside, we can reach their central power distribution node within 10 minutes. The plan slowly took shape. They would use a modified shuttle, one that would appear unarmed to alien scans, but had hidden compartments for weapons and the disruptor. Captain Song would pilot, with Dr. Lee to operate the device and Engineer Kang to handle any technical obstacles. "We need a distraction," Captain Song said. "Something big enough to keep their attention split." Colonel Choi smiled for the first time in days. "Leave that to us. The Resistance cells are ready to launch coordinated attacks worldwide. Nothing serious enough to provoke major retaliation, but enough to keep their sensors busy." While the mission team prepared, people across Earth worked together in ways they never had before. Old enemies shared resources. Borders became meaningless. The Vaughn had united humanity through their attack. 3 days later, Dr. Lee checked the quantum disruptor one final time. Her hands trembled slightly. Professor Han placed his hand on her shoulder. "I've triple-checked everything," he said gently. "It will work." "I know," she replied. "I just never thought I'd be doing something like this. I'm a physicist, not a soldier." "Today you're both," he said. In another room, Engineer Kang prepared tools they might need, electronic bypasses, cutters, and a small electromagnetic pulse. Generator of her own design. Captain Song studied flight paths alone, his eyes red from lack of sleep. He had lost his entire squadron in the first counterattack. This mission was his chance to make their deaths mean something. The morning of the mission arrived with rare, clear skies. The Vaughn ships still darkened parts of the sky, but for a moment, sunlight broke through. Some saw it as a good sign. "Remember," Colonel Choi told the team as they prepared to board the shuttle, "you need to sell this surrender story. Act defeated, broken." Captain Song nodded grimly. "That won't be hard to." "Fake." Dr. Lee carefully placed the disruptor in a special compartment beneath the floor panels. It was shielded to prevent detection during the initial scan. "We have 15 minutes from the time we dock until their deep security scan completes," she reminded everyone. "After that, they'll detect the device." The shuttle lifted off from a hidden runway, rising slowly toward the massive alien command ship that hovered over what had once been Seoul. Captain Song flew with deliberate caution, following the exact approach path the Vaughn had specified for. "Surrender, delegations," their radio crackled. "Earth vessel, identify yourself." "This is Captain Song of the Earth Unified Government," he responded, using the title they had created for this mission. "We bring representatives to discuss terms as requested." The alien voice paused. "Proceed to Docking Bay 4. Any deviation from your path will result in immediate destruction." As they approached the enormous alien ship, Dr. Lee stared at its crystalline surface. Up close, the vessel seemed alive, pulsing with blue energy that flowed like blood through veins. "It's beautiful," she whispered despite herself. "So are many deadly things," Engineer Kang replied. The docking bay opened like a mouth in the side of the ship. Captain Song guided their small shuttle inside, where it looked tiny and fragile among alien craft. "Ready?" he asked, powering down the engines. Dr. Lee touched the hidden compartment where the disruptor lay. "Ready." Engineer Kang checked her tools one last time. "Let's show these aliens what humans can do when pushed too far." As they prepared to exit the shuttle, their earpieces crackled with Colonel Choi's voice. "Distraction begins in 3 minutes. Make them count." Captain Song straightened his back and put on the face of a defeated man. "Time to surrender," he said with a grim smile that suggested anything but surrender. The shuttle door opened, and they stepped onto alien ground to begin the most important mission in human history. The air inside the Vaughn ship felt strange to Dr. Lee. It was thicker than Earth air and had a sweet smell that reminded her of burned sugar. Captain Song walked ahead of their small group, his shoulders slumped in a perfect show of defeat. Engineer Kang stayed close to Dr. Lee, her hand near the hidden pocket where she kept her tools. 4 tall Vaughn escorted them. The aliens moved with fluid grace, their scaled skin shimmering with blue-green colors that shifted like oil on water. They didn't speak, but communicated through small clicking sounds. "The Supreme Commander will see you now," said one Vaughn in surprisingly good human language. "You will show proper respect." They entered a massive chamber. The ceiling rose so high that Dr. Lee couldn't see the top. In the center floated a large crystal that pulsed with energy. Around it, dozens of Vaughn worked at control stations. A larger Vaughn with elaborate scale patterns approached. "I am Commander Vex. You come to surrender your world to us?" Captain Song bowed his head. "We wish to discuss terms that might spare our people from complete destruction." While Captain Song spoke with the commander, Dr. Lee scanned the room. Her hidden sensors mapped the energy flows. The central crystal was clearly the heart of their system. "Our distraction should begin any second," Engineer Kang whispered, checking her watch. As if on cue, alarms blared. The crystal pulsed red instead of blue. "We are under attack in multiple locations," a Vaughn reported. "Human resistance forces have struck 23 extraction sites simultaneously." Commander Vex turned to them with suspicious eyes. "You bring terms while your people attack?" "We don't control all humans," Captain Song said quickly. "Many still refuse to accept reality. Those who sent us represent the largest governments." Commander seemed to accept this explanation. "Wait here while I attend to this problem." He moved toward the central control area. The moment he left, Engineer Kang activated her small EMP device. Several nearby control panels flickered and died. "System fluctuation in Section 7, called out a Vaughn technician. Engineer Kang stepped forward. "Your ship's systems might be reacting to Earth's magnetic field. I'm an engineer, I could help stabilize it." The Vaughn looked uncertain, but with multiple crises happening at once, they allowed her to examine a control panel. "Now," Dr. Lee whispered to Captain Song. He nodded and clutched his stomach. "I need facilities. Your atmosphere making me ill." A guard approached him. "This way, human." Captain Song followed the guard, looking sick but alert for his opportunity. Meanwhile, Engineer Kang worked on the panel, deliberately causing more problems while appearing to fix things. "Your power distribution is unstable. I need to check the secondary node." The Vaughn technicians, focused on the attacks around the world, pointed her toward a corridor. 3 sections down, Engineer Kang and Dr. Lee moved quickly down the corridor, following the energy signatures on Dr. Lee's hidden scanner. They passed strange rooms filled with pulsing crystals and humming machinery. "The maintenance access should be around this corner," Dr. Lee whispered. They found the access panel. Engineer Kang used her tools to open it, while Dr. Lee kept watch. Inside was a tunnel filled with glowing tubes. "The power distribution center is through here," Engineer Kang said. "You place the disruptor. I'll create another distraction to give you time." Engineer Kang headed back toward the control room while Dr. Lee crawled into the maintenance tunnel, the quantum disruptor strapped to her back. The tunnel was tight and warm. Sweat dripped down her face as she pushed forward. Captain Song, meanwhile, had managed to slip away from his guard using a technique Colonel Choi had taught him. He moved through the ship, following the memorized path to the rendezvous point. Dr. Lee reached the power distribution node. It was beautiful, a small version of the main crystal pulsing with energy. She carefully placed the quantum disruptor against it and activated the timer. 10 minutes, she whispered to herself. Suddenly alarms blared again, different from before. "Human intruders detected in maintenance systems," announced a mechanical voice. Dr. Lee hurried back through the tunnel. As she emerged, 3 Vorna guards spotted her. "Stop, human!" She ran down the corridor, heart pounding. Around a corner, she collided with Captain Song. "This way," he said, pulling her down a side passage. They heard Engineer Kang's voice ahead, shouting. They found her fighting off 2 Vorn with a piece of broken equipment. Captain Song grabbed a metal pipe from the wall and swung it at the nearest Vorn. The alien fell back, stunned. "The shuttle! Now!" he yelled. They ran through the corridors, following the route they had memorized. Behind them, more Vorn guards gave chase. An energy blast hit the wall near Dr. Lee's head, showering her with hot sparks. 5 minutes until the disruptor activates, she gasped as they ran. They reached the docking bay. Their shuttle sat where they had left it, surrounded by Vorn guards. Engineer Kang pulled out her last EMP device. "Cover your eyes!" The device flashed, temporarily blinding the Vorn, whose eyes were more sensitive than human eyes. The team rushed to the shuttle. Captain Song jumped into the pilot seat and started the engines. Engineer Kang sealed the door, just as energy blasts hit the hull. 3 minutes! Dr. Lee shouted as the shuttle lifted off. They shot out of the docking bay, accelerating hard. Behind them, the massive Vorn command ship loomed. "We're not going to make it to safe distance," Captain Song said grimly, pushing the engines beyond their limits. Dr. Lee watched the timer on her device. 2 minutes. The shuttle shook as a tractor beam locked onto them. "We're caught, Engineer," Kang said. Captain Song looked at them both. "It was an honor." Dr. Lee smiled. "The disruptor will still work. That's all that matters." They watched as the timer counted down the final seconds. The tractor beam pulled their shuttle slowly back, toward the Vorn command ship. Inside the small craft, Captain Song tried every evasive maneuver he knew, but nothing worked. Dr. Lee watched the timer on her small screen. 30 seconds remaining. "Whatever happens to us," she said quietly, "remember we did this for Earth." "Engineer." Kang nodded, her face calm despite their situation. It was worth it. The shuttle shuddered as the tractor beam strengthened its grip. Through the window they could see Vorn soldiers waiting in the docking bay, weapons ready. 10 seconds, Dr. Lee announced. Captain Song took a deep breath. "It's been an honor serving with you both." 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then a strange ripple of blue light spread across the command ship. The tractor beam flickered and died, releasing their shuttle suddenly. Captain Song quickly steered them away from the massive alien vessel. Inside the Vorn ship, the quantum disruptor had done its work. The carefully calibrated device created a feedback loop in the quantum entanglement field that connected all Vorn technology. Like a stone thrown into a pond, the disruption spread in waves. The command ship's lights flickered. Systems shut down one after another. The central crystal, once bright blue, now pulsed with unstable red energy. Commander Vex watched in horror as his control panels went dark. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Unknown energy cascades spreading through all systems," a technician replied, voice shaking. "The quantum field is collapsing. The effect wasn't limited to the command ship. Across Earth's orbit, all Vaughn vessels began experiencing the same systems failures. Ships that had been attacking cities suddenly lost power and drifted. Weapons stopped firing. Shields failed. In the underground bunker, Colonel Choi received the first reports with disbelief. "All Vaughn ships appear to be disabled," said a radio operator, confirmed by 3 separate monitoring stations. Professor Han smiled, tears in his eyes. "She did it. They did it. Colonel Choi didn't waste time celebrating. Send the signal. All Earth forces commence Operation Reclaim. Now." Around the world, hidden military units emerged with weapons they had kept secret. Fighter jets took off from hidden runways. Submarines surfaced and launched missiles at the now defenseless alien ships. Captain Song piloted their shuttle back toward Earth, watching the incredible scene unfold. The once mighty Vaughn fleet now drifted helplessly in space, dark shapes against the stars. "Look," Engineer Kang pointed out the window. Earth's remaining defense forces were moving in, surrounding the alien vessels. Dr. Lee checked her instruments. "The quantum disruption is stable. Their systems can't recover without a complete reset, which would take days." Their shuttle's radio crackled to life. "Shuttle 1, this is Earth Defense Command. Do you copy?" Captain Song grinned. "This is Shuttle 1, mission accomplished. Requesting landing coordinates." "Roger that, Shuttle 1. You are cleared to land at Base Alpha, and thank you." 3 days later, the Vaughn officially surrendered. Their ships remained in Earth orbit, under heavy guard by Earth's combined military forces. Commander Vex requested a meeting with Earth's leaders. In a hastily prepared conference room, Dr. Lee sat beside General Huang and other officials as the Vaughn commander entered. He looked less impressive now, his scales dull without the energy that had once flowed through them. "Your species has surprised us," Commander Vex said. "No other world has ever resisted us successfully." General Huang's face remained stern. "You should have studied us better before attacking. Humans don't surrender easily." "We see that now," the alien commander replied. "Your quantum disruption weapon has disabled our entire fleet. We cannot even call for reinforcements." Dr. Lee spoke up. "Your technology was impressive but flawed. Making everything connected created a single point of failure." Commander Vex turned his large eyes toward her. "You created the weapon?" She nodded. "With help." "Remarkable," he said. "Our scientists believed no species at your development level could understand our quantum systems, let alone counter them." General Huang laid out Earth's terms: immediate withdrawal of all Vaughn forces, return of any captured humans, and a non-aggression treaty. "You are in no position to refuse," he added. Commander Vex agreed to the terms. Within a week, the Vaughn fleet had left Earth's orbit, those ships still capable of space travel towing the disabled ones. 1 month after the invasion, Earth held a global celebration day. In Seoul, Dr. Lee, Captain Song, and Engineer Kang received medals for their bravery. The crowd cheered so loudly that Dr. Lee could barely hear her name being called. "I'm just a scientist," she whispered to Captain Song as they stood on the stage. "I never wanted to be a hero," he smiled. "None of us did. But when Earth needed us, we stepped up." Engineer Kang looked up at the blue sky, clear of alien ships. "What do you think happens now?" Dr. Lee followed her gaze upward. "We rebuild. We learn from their technology, and we prepare because we know we're not alone in the universe anymore." Around the world, people looked to the stars with new eyes, not with fear, but with determination. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and triumphed. Whatever came next, they would face it together.